This is the Get Louder podcast, baby. That's right.
Hey, Dan, welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for having me. Good to be here.
What's up, Dan? How you doing?
Not too bad, man.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on.
No, life is good. It's good day to be here. It's nice outside. We got our weather back. So, yeah, happy to be on.
For sure.
So before we dive into the deep world of marketing and business, let's get to know you a little bit. How'd you start? What led you into the world of personal injury?
Shit. I've been here since I was 18 years old, San Diego State undergrad. Had an opportunity to go study abroad in England at Oxford University. That was what kind of pushed me to law school. Decided I was going to go to law school. Everyone goes into law school wanting to do the same thing. I'm going to be a sports agent. No one comes out being a sports agent. It's just the way that it works. And through law school, had a couple opportunities, went and worked for a corporate firm, hated it, worked for the U.S. Attorney's Office, literally busting like marijuana dispensaries that were operating legally by state law, but the feds still were like, no, it's federally illegal. So you're like going in and like taking people's homes and cars for like them operating what is now a legit business.
That's crazy.
Hated it, couldn't do it. And then found myself in personal injury. And the first day I was there, like meeting with clients, seeing actual people, seeing their lives turned upside down, being able to go in and actually help and watching that whole process and the results follow. I was like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And so that was how I got plugged in. Did my master's in business at the same time I did my law degree, did them both in 2.5 years while working at Stingery nightclub downtown.
Bouse.
It was a grind of grinds, finished with ulcers, and like literally I don't think I could have gone another semester, but really glad I did it the way that I did and used the master's as much as I used the law degree. So happy that I did both programs, and here we are.
Really?
Yeah.
You were working at Sting at the same time,
Working at Sting.
Like,
at
were
the
you
same
working
time.
the front, like the door, or
Bro,
were
I
you
was valet?
valet?
I was running the valet at Stingery from the opening night of Stingery through like 2009 or 2010 when I handed it off. And 2010. And I still have some of those relationships from like the guys that would roll through every Friday and Saturday night.
Right.
And it was probably the best job that I could have had through college and through my, law and master's degree.
That's crazy.
Because I was working, I'd show up at 10, at night, and I'd work till 3 in the morning, and that was the only job that the hours would coincide with me going to school from 8 in the morning till 9:30 at night. Like it was just one into the next, into the next.
Nonstop.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a good grind.
So we often hear about these aha moments in our lives and career. Can you recall a breakthrough moment that helped define or redirect your path?
In the career, in life, like just in general?
In general, in career and life.
Well, what about the aha moment for personal injury? Like when you were doing the busting the, the weed shops and you were feeling really shitty about it. Like what was the moment where you discovered personal injury and like
so I wasn't even looking for it. Like I got an opportunity to intern at a firm, and my whole family's doctors. So I think it was like the medical mixed with the law, but just really being able to watch that people came in, like didn't know where to go, like no direction, really hurt. And you get to watch them through the whole process and then hand them a life-changing amount of money at the end of the day. Like I have so many friends that have been clients that are now like close friends and will be with me in my life forever. That those interpersonal relationships and that bonding through that process was something that just like immediately I was like, this is it. My aha life moments are, I've just realized, and I realized a while ago, like if you do something, and my uncle taught me this, if you do something that you love, that doesn't feel like work, right? Like, and that's what he told me when I was a kid. He was like, find something that you could get paid $0 to do, and you would still do it every day and enjoy doing it. And if you do that, you will make money. And once I found that, it was over. And that's how I felt about personal injury. That's how I felt about growing this firm, building a business. In law school, I was taking interviews and jobs for post-law school positions. And my first question would be, do I have to work on the weekend? And if it was a yes, I'm like, I'm out. Now I work every Saturday and Sunday, but it's not because I have to. It's because I want to, because I love what I do. I love what I'm building. And so once you find something you're passionate about that you really enjoy doing, it doesn't feel like work. And then that's where the success comes. That's the key of life, is finding that.
Absolutely.
Now I know you're the Bulldog attorney.
Yeah, I got Teddy with me.
And with Teddy with you.
If anyone hears panting, it's not me. It's this guy.
I'm curious, how did you get into Bulldogs?
Like an idiot. 21 years old, San Diego State, living with 6 guys in a house up at State, drinking too much, partying too much. One night after partying, drunk, ordered a Bulldog online like an idiot.
You ordered a pizza? I ordered a Bulldog.
Yeah,
That's
right.
cool.
Like avoiding scams and money order requests, and like found one in Pennsylvania. 3 days later, this dog shows up, and
Wow.
I'm like, oh shit, like I got to take care of something now. And changed my life, like completely changed my life, because I had to be home every night. I had to be responsible.
Yeah.
I had something else that I had to care for. And this dog became a part of my soul. Like she went everywhere with me. Not to mention, like at 21 years old, like you got a little baby bulldog. There's no better, like I was a wingman,
Yes.
wingman
All day.
And so it just became like a real big part of my life. Stella she was with me for 18 years. She's the legacy piece. She's the mascot. She's the logo at my office. That's what it was built around. And so because of how my life pivoted, I stopped drinking, stopped partying, and really got my stuff on track. And because of that, I give a lot of credit to these dogs. And that's why I have my own dog rescue, Save a Bully. I rescue as many French and English bulldogs every year as I possibly can. I don't take outside funding. It's all my own money that goes into it. It's my give back. And it's to pay it forward to what they've given to me. I've got 6 of these guys. They're my pack. They come to work every day. My office is the Bulldog building on the side of the 5 freeway. You're driving 5 north, look right. You can't miss it. There's a big glow in the dark, 8-foot tall bulldog on the roof. Bulldogs run everything in my life, and I've built my entire life around the stuff that I love. And I think that's been a secret to the success.
Wow.
How do your clients feel when they walk in and they just see a kennel full of Bulldogs? Do they love it?
These guys don't have a kennel. They free run. Like they run the shit.
The office is the kennel, bro.
They run the shit. Like, you walk in and it's like they're there to greet you.
Yeah.
Clients love it because they come in and they're expecting like some stuffy law firm with a bunch of books and like someone looking down their nose at them in a suit, and then they get me and Jay's and a bunch of dogs, and we get to have real personal conversations, and we become close much quicker than I think a normal attorney-client situation would be, because you get to the human of it, right?
Yeah.
And it's changed the way that I practice law, just in how we set those things up, but it's also changed a lot of our case results, because I get to know people much deeper, on a much deeper level than I think most attorneys do. So I really know how to poke and prod through the case and how to get the most out of the case, because we get so personal with our clients, and the dogs help that.
Yeah. And people are getting, because when they come in too, they're probably more open to speak to
100%.
you. They're willing to share more and, open up on a more personal level.
100%. And not even clients. Like I have people that just show up at my office and they'll ring the bell and they'll be like, I'm here to see the dogs. I'm like, all right. And they're like, I saw you on social media. Can I meet the dogs?
Yeah.
Come on in. Like I'm happy to. Like, and it's weird, but it works. I got a lady that comes by probably every 2 months. She was going through chemo for breast cancer, and that's how it started. She just came in. She was like, can I meet your dogs? And
Yeah.
I got to talking, understand what she was going through. I'm like, just come by whenever you want to. And so she calls it her dog therapy.
Oh.
She just comes in. I put her in a conference room, put all the dogs in there with her. She lays on the ground. All the dogs love on her. She loves on the dogs. She's like, cool, I've had my time. See you in 2 months. Cool. Like to me, that's better than anything. Like that's like what I wanted to build. And that's like a legacy. It's not about the money anymore. It's about like those type of things, like building your life around like the things that really do bring happiness,
Purpose and love and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that most clients, when they come in, they already know about the dogs and the whole brand, or is it usually a new thing for them?
Now, you know, like now I think it's gotten out there, right? Like in the beginning, no.
Yeah.
Like they walk in like, what is this? But now, like, I think it's kind of an expected thing. And, I have I'm a very non-solicitous marketer. I don't like the ambulance chaser way. Like, I don't think that injured, hope you're injured, call me today. Like, I know attorneys that are giving out stuffed ambulances with their names on it. I just think it's cheesy and corny.
I've never seen that one.
Can't stand it. Like, it's a black eye for me to our industry, in my opinion. So I'm very brand oriented, if you will, and the Bulldogs have become the brand. And so it's to the point where people see a Bulldog and they'll send me a picture of a Bulldog and like, hey, thought of you, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like top of mind marketing because the dogs. So yeah, I think it's definitely now in the community, people get it. And like I sat down to dinner the other day, a friend invited me and the guy said, he's like, you're the Bulldog lawyer. And I'm like, here we are.
That's
like,
great.
Here we are.
The branding works.
Yeah.
Dan, looking back on your journey, is there something you wish you had known when you first started?
Own you. Own your differences. Don't be insecure about your differences. Don't try to fit into a box that's not you. I was so insecure about looking young, starting a firm young, dressing young, doing things different. Like when we started, I put the Bulldog logo, the face on a bunch of shirts, like 1,000 shirts, and we're giving them out. And people were like, this is so like cheesy. Like, why are you doing this? You're a law firm. You're not a clothing company. And I had so much insecurity, and I realized like that's what's made this successful is like just doing things differently, owning who we are. People want real, and life is way too short to be worried about what everyone else thinks about you. No one else gives a shit, and you shouldn't give a shit about what they're worried about or what their opinions of you are. Like you should live your own truth. Eliminate the facade. So many attorneys in the game are all facade and it's all lips and it's like never any action to it. And we've built and grown by being who we are and owning who we are. And I think that people really enjoy that. And that's where the successes come.
Absolutely.
I agree. Given your unique position as an attorney and a business owner, how would you describe the landscape of marketing in your field?
I mean, there's standard, like we said, like ambulance chaser, personal injury marketing, like all these big national firms have tried to come into San Diego and are trying to come into San Diego. And they're like, you know, we have offices in every state and we're, you know, blah, 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 blah. Like, in my opinion, people want a person, right? Like, you know where to find me. I'm there 7 days a week. Come in. This is my city. You know, I'm not in LA coming down here trying to fish off someone else's pier, like disconnected. Like my clients have my cell phone number. My clients call me. My clients meet with me. Like it's a very personal relationship. And I think a lot of these bigger marketing firms miss that. And then a lot of them become mills where it's like, take every case that comes in, Let's sign up as many cases as we can. Guess what? You lose quality. Like there's no way that you can run quality by just taking volume and volume. So yeah, you might make more money and you might have more cases, but are your clients really getting the best service they possibly can? Probably not.
Right.
And I'm much better at looking at the quality over quantity. And maybe it means I make a little less money because I'm not taking every case, but I know every single one of my clients. I meet with every single one of my clients. Like when I leave here, I'm going to go meet with the client that's coming in because I don't know whether I'm going to take the case until I meet with them. I also don't want to deal with assholes anymore.
Right.
Like that's my line. Like I'm like, I don't care if you have a $2 million case. If you're a nice person, let's go. If you're a shitty person, go call the guy on somewhere else. Like it
affects your quality of life.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't have the soul for it anymore. Like the money is not worth it to me. And so that's why I do meet with every client and I do the sniff test on everyone. And it's great that the tables have turned where it's like, I don't have to sell anyone. I'm going to see whether I want to take your case, whether it's a good fit for us to take your case. Not, oh, I hope you choose us.
Right.
Just it's completely switched. And my marketing is very different. I don't spend that much money on marketing. I more market with like friends, right? Like you and I have talked about doing social media marketing because I've known you for a long time and I respect your hustle and I respect who you are as a human. So I'm happy to give you my business because of who you are as a human, not because I'm like, oh, I hope I have this sort of ROI on this, right? Same reason why I do the radio advertising. Frankie and Gina the Latina are really close friends of mine.
Yeah.
So of course I'm going to advertise and pay it forward to homies. Like that makes sense. Do I get business out of it? Sure. Do I follow my ROI? No, because it's friends. I'm lucky enough to be in a position to run a business where I can market with the people that I hang out with and that I'm close with, and it's real. And when Frankie and Gina talk about my firm, it's because I'm playing basketball with Frankie every Saturday morning, and I'm on a board with Gina helping, you know, schools in San Diego. and building that. And so they know me. They know who I am as a human. And so my marketing is a much different approach. It's not an ROI driven approach. I don't follow the analytics and the numbers. Like I work with people that I want to work with.
Relationship based.
Relationships. Yeah.
You say that you work 7 days a week, and I can tell it's true.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you'll put on fundraisers and events, and you'll actually show up. And didn't you even put on the Bulldog suit at one point?
No, I don't do that shit. I don't do that shit. Paul, my law partner, does it. And I'm like, bro, you're going to have a heat stroke. That thing is so hot. I put it on one time at my office. I was like, never again. Like, it is so hot. Paul loves it. He's like a dad. It's totally his game, right? Like yeah, Bulldog. So yeah, Paul does it. I show up at all the events. Community is important. It shouldn't just be about like, getting your name out there. It should be about actually helping and doing good and helping causes. And it's also, for me, like, I want to be like on the streets. Like, I don't want to be like the guy that's like too high. Like, I'm the same person I am today that I was when I was valeting cars at Stingery. And I love that I can see people that I knew when I was parking their cars and they were tipping me $3 and they're like, you haven't changed at all. To me, that's the biggest compliment I could get, because money shouldn't change you. Those things shouldn't change you. You should always be your same person. You should always treat every person, whether they're the person that's helping pick up your food to the CEO of the company, everyone should be treated the same way. I learned that as a valet, being treated like shit, and just like, that's how I want to live my life.
Yeah.
Now, you said you don't do anything that you wouldn't ask your employees to do.
Nothing.
Why is that so important to you?
It's respect. It also is like leadership. Like, they know that I'm not above anything. I'm not below anything. Like, I've worked for places where they literally call and treat their people like minions. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how it is. Like, it's not how you should run any sort of business. Like, someone spills something in the lobby. Have someone. No, I'm going to go clean it up. Like, if there's not, like, handle your business, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm a businessman. There's delegation, there's systems and processes that you have to have that to run a business, but don't be too good for anything. And once you start to get where it's like, I'm above that, I think you've lost it and you've missed out on a lot of like what you should be learning in life, because being able to be on the ground floor and handle everything, your people will work really hard for you because there's respect there.
Yeah. Especially when they know that you've already done all those phases of work. Like
100%.
You started at the bottom, you did all the jobs that they're
100%.
doing, you did them.
100%.
You know, so you know the ins and outs of that. And that, because of the type of person you are, you're able to respect their position because you were doing it before.
1000%.
You know, so.
And I can teach them how to do it because I've done
right,
it
because
all,
you've
right?
done it.
Like
exactly.
I can show, this is what I would do differently. Here's a hack. Do this differently.
Right.
And in our industry, a lot of attorneys, like, and I pay people really well as well, because I pay people the way that I think that I would want to get paid, right? So I'm not cheap, whereas a lot of people are cheap. But it's also, attorneys will leave meat on the bone, right? And they'll on to the next case. Like, I don't want to go and put in this extra work, like, just settle it. My attorneys go and get every last little bit, and that's why our reputation is what it is, because we get really good results for our clients, because our people have so much respect for our office, our culture, and what we've built, that they won't do a disservice to a client by leaving extra money that's there. They kick down that door and they go grab the money.
With the rapid evolution of the digital realm, how do you feel like social media has changed the game for professionals?
I mean, everyone, if you're not on social media, what are you doing? I was the first firm, and I can say this, at least in San Diego, the first firm to start video advertising and marketing on Facebook and Instagram, and doing videos and paying money and sponsoring posts. And I was following, this was like 2016, I was following Gary Vee pretty closely. Everyone knows Gary Vee now. But back then he was just like slowly getting his feet underneath him. And he said it, and it will stick with me forever. He's like, you will regret not going heavier on this, right? Like, while you can, because no one else was doing it. And I regret it so bad. I should have gone so heavy into it. But it still got us out there. It still got us into the world. Now everyone's doing it. Right. Everyone's running. Everyone's, it's what you do. And it's one of those things that, you know, when there's opportunity there, you better double down on it. And I still do a lot of it. I don't do as much as I should right now because I'm so busy. And I'm also, because I don't want to be a mill and because I want to be quality over quantity, I don't want to turn on the faucet too much. And then you're dealing with, oh shoot, how do I handle all these things the right way, right? Like I just hired 3 new attorneys. I just hired 3 new paralegals. Now my office is full. Now I got to go find another building and figure like, so I think that you have to be careful with your growth, because if you get too far ahead of yourself, you lose that quality and you lose that, you know, what people have come to expect. And that is not worth it to me. But if you're not on social media and you're not marketing on social media, you're missing out, because it's not going anywhere. And AI is going to change the game for all of us. Automated cars are going to change my game for sure. Like I'm always looking 5-10 years ahead to see where it's going to be. And the world is changing so quickly that if we're all not on our toes, we're all going to get left behind.
True that.
I'm all for automated cars.
Bro, put me out of business. I'll find something else to do. I'm good with it, but it's coming.
Wait, how do you use AI right now in your business?
Yeah, so we have I have a buddy that started a AI company for discovery that helps fill out discovery responses for clients. Just helps format it and document it. Helps save paralegals time. We'd use that. I use AI for some like ChatGPT for some newsletter type stuff, things like that, just to be able to come up with content. And slowly more folding it into things, but I'm learning, right? Like, and I spend a lot of my free time in evenings watching videos and just trying to learn what's coming and learn the new tech and learn what's there. Spent the last few months getting an app going for phones, for our office, for current clients, for communication, just to like mainstream everything. So it's a constant evolution, right? Like, I think we're very, very good at what we do, but I always know that there's room for improvement.
You can always become more efficient, especially with technology coming out.
100%.
Given today's competitive environment, how do you ensure you stand out, especially in the PI work?
Besides Bulldogs.
Yeah, besides Bulldogs, our results, we do really, really well for our clients. Most of my clients, like I said, I don't spend much on marketing. Word of mouth reputation is pretty much our biggest flow of clientele. Is our past clients going, you got to hire these guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was walking in here and got a call from my law partner. He's giving me shit because I'm always the one that's like out doing stuff, and he's like grinding, which I do sometimes feel guilty for, but not all the time. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going on a podcast. He's like, oh, wasting your time. I just settled a $2 million case, right? Like, great. Like, it's awesome. And that's the yin and the yang of the partnership. Yeah. But like $2 million settlement on a pre-litigation case where they don't have to pay any litigation fees. They don't have to pay any litigation costs. They're going to walk with, you know, 1.3 to 1.5 to their pocket. Like, it's a great day for someone. That's a life-changing amount of money, tax-free money, right? Like, that changes your entire trajectory, your family's trajectory, what you want to do, how you want to spend your time. You do that for enough people, you got a bunch of walking billboards out there that are like, hey, don't go to anyone else. Go to Dan and Paul. And we treat everyone like that, whether you got a $2 million case or whether you got a $15,000 case. Like, that's the treatment you're going to get. And so that's what I focus on. I just focus on doing quality work. I focus on treating people with kindness. I focus on treating people the right way. And the rest falls into place. Like, come do whatever you want. Like, I've watched other people come into town and try to do what we do and take ideas. And I just kind of laugh at it because it's like, one, there's enough for everyone. There's plenty to go around. I don't have a scarcity mindset. Like, I've always had a mindset of abundance. And two, I don't think you can do what I do. Like, I think you're going to end up trying to fake being someone else, and it's not going to come off real. Whereas we just stay in our lane and do what we do, and we are who we are.
Absolutely. How important is personal branding for attorneys today? Do you have any tips for the entrepreneurs listening right now? Yeah,
find, like, my thing's Bulldogs, right? But it's real. I have 6 of them. They come to the office with me. There's a dog park in front of my office. I built the dog park I helped build the dog park in Little Italy. Like, it's real. It is who I am, right? You cannot just create some fake fictional brand that has no connection to who you are. I've seen other lawyers in town like have Bulldogs in their office. I'm like, people see through this shit, man. Like it's not you. It's not who you really are. Find something that you really connect with and build a brand on that. And if it's real, then I think that people will get attracted to it. Like I know some lawyers that are big into jujitsu. Build that, like have that be a big part of your brand. Like you'll have a whole community, especially in San Diego, that is coming to you just because it's real, it's sincere, and you're that guy. So I think that it's finding something that is unique, embracing something that's unique. Paul and I were looking for logos when we were first starting, and we're sending each other texts back and forth, and it's like scales of justice, a shield, and I'm like, can we just use a bulldog, bro? Yeah. And he's like, let's go. And that was like a pivotal direction piece where it's like, we're just going to do something totally different. And people have latched onto it, and it's worked really, really well. But in other businesses that I have as well, like that's been a secret to success. Like I'm a owner of the Spill the Beans coffee shops. We have one downtown, 6 in Market, one in Seaport Village. When we're rolling out brand, well, like how do we stand out? We have the big coffee pot guy. It's almost like the Kool-Aid guy, but it's a coffee pot. Yeah. And it's Pothead Coffee.
Nice.
And the brand's gone crazy. People love it. Like shirts sell wild. We're now opening up 3rd and 4th location, talking about franchise opportunities. But it's an embracing a uniqueness and running with it. And that's how you build a successful brand. You can't do the same thing that everyone else is doing. You can't really copy that. Like you got to find your own unique lane and then go heavy.
Right. If you go ahead and copy other people's stuff, you're just going to be always second best.
1,000%.
You'll never set the trends. You'll always be following the trends, waiting for someone to set the trends so you can, what are they doing? Let me copy it. And that's what Brandon and I try to do. We try to stay in our own lane and do things the way we want to do it with integrity and what we find interesting, how the value that we can really give people.
Well, that's how I know it's one of your videos because you have your own style. Like, oh, Jay did that video. Like, it's 100% true though because you have your own style. You haven't gone, oh, I'm just gonna like mock everyone else. Like, you've stayed true to what you create. I think that's the secret.
For what's next for you? Anything exciting? Any exciting projects or adventures on the horizon?
I mean, there's always stuff. I have ADD and I don't watch much TV, so I'm not like a couch guy. Like I'm like well, what can I get my hands on next? And sometimes it's a problem. Like I get into too much stuff and I need to stay focused. I'm gonna need to find a new building because we're gonna be full with this location. So I think North County, South Bay, that's gonna be a future expansion. I opened up a Boise, Idaho office a couple years ago so I can see my family more often. So that's great. I'm trying to balance my life more. Like I want to have a family. I want to have kids. Like I've run so hard that has not been in my cards. And I'm realizing that I'm going to wake up when I'm 70 and be sitting on a bunch of money and material things and have a lot of emptiness. And I don't want that. And I don't want that regret. So I'm trying to like focus on that more and give a lot more of my time instead of like, oh, let's start a new business and let's do this, like really focusing on solidifying the firm and making sure that I have time to have that in my life. I don't want to be a shitty dad. I want to be a really active dad. I want to be a really active husband. Like I think that those are really much more important things as I'm hitting 40 than they were when I was 30, when I'm like, I'm never going to have kids. I'm never going to get married. I've woken up to the fact that I think I would really regret that.
How do you feel like about like new entrepreneurs? They're so focused on their business is their baby. And you know this, like when you're launching, starting up, your business has to be your full focus because it's so fragile in the beginning. How do you think you can balance growing a business and having a family?
I mean, it's hard to balance. I would argue that in the early days, there is no balance. Like 90% of businesses fail. It's a real stat because most people don't understand what it takes. You have to be in it. You got to be there 7 days a week. I've had business partners and I'm like, they're in Coachella and they're like, and I'm like, bro, like I'm 12, 13 years into this game and I'm still in it every day. Like I just started trying to take vacations because you can't grow something special and be living that life. Like it just doesn't work. So I think when you have a family, it's really hard. Paul, he's got 2 kids at home. He's at the office every day at probably 6:30, 7 a.m. so he can get there early so he can leave by 5 or 6. He's still putting in a 12-hour day, but he makes the sacrifice of getting everything done in the morning so he can leave, so he can be there to be with his kids and tuck in his kids and eat dinner with his wife and his kids. Like that works, but it's still like he's still there Saturdays, you know, like Sundays is his family day. It's really hard early on in a business to have balance and to like go live all these, you know, great life experiences. My life is where it's at today because of all the things that I sacrificed and all the weekends that I said no to and all the trips that I said no to. That's why my life is where it is today. And people look at it and they're like, oh my God, you're so lucky and you live and you have all these things. I'm like, you have no idea the shit that I said no to. Every Friday and Saturday at Stingery nightclub, where everyone else in my law school class was coming up wasted to me, like, oh, you're parking cars. I got to. Like, it's this or I'm not going to survive. So it's like, people just don't get it. Like, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into life to build the life that you actually want to live.
That's awesome, man.
That's for real. And I've worked with people before where I've tried. Luckily, I have Brandon, who's our goals are so aligned. Like it's so hard to find someone you align with. Yeah. Our goals are aligned. Our work ethic is aligned. And I've tried to partner up with people in the past where as soon as we get our first deal, they're like, cool, got paid. I'm off to a festival. Yeah. And I'm left
you literally have the same story.
And I'm left with all the work. I'm doing all the work. Yeah. And I'm here working 7 days a week. And I'm just like, bro, like we just got our first deal and you're going to go take a vacation. Yeah. Oh, I needed to recharge. Yeah. And then they come back and they're ass because they have to recover from all the drinking and drugs they did.
100%.
And then they're like coming back. Oh, I'm recharged, guys. Get ready to work. We're going to fucking kill out. It's like, dude, what do you mean get ready to work? We've been working.
Never stops.
It never stops. And you can't, and like you said, 90%, I would even say even more, like businesses fail and you have to get it going and running to where it can run itself before you could take a break.
Bro, and I think that the mentality that I always tell people is it's quick to get over losses, quick to get over wins, right? Like walking in here, settle a $2 million case. It's a bunch of money in my pocket. I'll be at work tomorrow. Yeah. See you there. Nothing changes. Yeah. It's not like I'm going to go celebrate tonight. Like, no, like, great. It's a win. Let's move. Let's go.
It's like they say in the NFL, short-term memory.
Short-term memory on all things.
Yeah, on all.
On the losses, on the wins.
Whether you drop the ball, whether you catch it, you got next play.
100%.
I've always had the mentality is winning is expected. So why are you celebrating? You're supposed to win.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
You're supposed to get that deal. Like, why are we celebrating? We were supposed to do that.
That, and when you're growing a business, you better reinvest that money into the business.
Right, exactly.
You take a good financial hit, like you make some money. That shouldn't be going to a BMW. That should be going to, hey, how can I make this money make
marketing
more money?
And growing.
Like that's that's how you, like I didn't make $1 for 18 months of opening up my firm. Not $1. Living off, like cut my cut cable bills, cut gym memberships, cut everything that I possibly could, tighten belt, and didn't make $1. And I tell everyone it's a real story. 16 months in, my law partner came to me and was like, Dan, I'm gonna start driving for Uber. I can't survive. And I was like, I'm begging you, don't do that. Hold on. We're going to turn the corner. Sure enough, we turned the corner. We've been green every single month since. But it was because of that 18-month period that I have 30 people in my office and I have a big building off the 5 freeway and that I have some of the most talented litigation attorneys in my office because we sacrificed early on and we reinvested in the infrastructure and we built something special. If we would have taken money off the table, if I would have gone and bought a Mercedes or gone and bought a fancy car with that money instead of reinvesting it, we wouldn't be here. Yeah. And so many people forget that. And I there's certain people in life that I look up to. A lot of them I'm lucky enough to have in my life and like know personally. Some of them I just look at from afar. Kobe Bryant, I was always a big Kobe guy, not because of how great he was at basketball, but because of his work ethic.
Yeah.
I love that dude because of his work ethic, and I knew he would outwork anyone. And one of the craziest things about Kobe to me was when he had his last game, and he went for like 60 in his last game, right? And at the press conference after that game, they're like, so you've done this 20 years, like you're done. You don't have anything else in front of you. What are you going to do tomorrow? Dude's like, I'll be at the gym at 4:30. And they're like, why? And he's like, because why not? Like, we got time to go back to work. Like, that is why that dude was who he was. Because he wasn't going to just, I'm going to take a few months off. And like, he could have. Anyone else would have. But that's why he was different. And I think that short-term memory, wins and losses.
How do you feel about entrepreneurs experiencing burnout? Have you ever experienced burnout? Do you believe in burnout? And if you do, like, how do you suggest they navigate that?
Burnout's real, but it's way less prevalent if you're doing something that you love. If you're doing something that you're forcing yourself to do and that you really don't enjoy doing, burnout is real. And I've seen a lot of people go through it. The other thing that I think that you can do to help with that, and it's one of the reasons, and it's kind of a selfish thing, but one of the reasons I do so much nonprofit work, I sit on 6, 7 nonprofit boards right now, that is life perspective. Mm-hmm. Dealing with foster youth, dealing with schools that have 800 kids and 180 of them are homeless, like seeing that stuff and realizing how lucky we all are and how lucky I am to live the life that I live every day. It's not that hard to go to work every day. It's not that hard to put a smile on your face every day. Dealing with kids, we throw a prom every year for the kids at Rady's Children's Hospital that have terminal cancer that aren't going to be able to go to their own prom, so we throw a prom for them every year. Doing that, tell me you have a bad day. Like, you see those parents, they know that they're going to lose their kids. You tell me you're going to have a bad day. Like, that shit is real life perspective, and that will help you not burn out on what you're doing every day.
Because that's true fulfillment right there. That's true. Like, that's what fills the soul.
That's what fills your soul, makes you realize how lucky you are, makes you realize you should be grateful to wake up every single day. You put a smile on your face, and you go to work. Yeah. That's what it is.
Well, finally, for all of our listeners out there, especially entrepreneurs, can you share a key piece of advice or a mantra that has served you well throughout your career?
Yeah. My mantra that I sit with a lot of law students that are like, what do? I don't know what I'm going to do. Chase happiness, not money. I tell everyone that. Chase happiness, not money. The point of life is to be happy. The point of life is to be truly every day fulfilled. There's going to be bad days. There's going to be rough days. But if you're chasing money, you're probably not going to find happiness. And I know so many people that are uber wealthy. I mean, like, stupid money, and they're miserable. They've sold their soul somewhere on the road of life, and they are not happy people. That will never be me. I chase things that make me happy. I make sure that I'm building my life around things that make me happy. It's not about money. And I think as a result of living that way, money has come, but it's not why I'm doing it. It's because I just want to make sure that now, 10 years from now, when I'm 60, when I'm 80, that I'm happy. That's what life's about.
Absolutely. No question about
it. That's powerful. Real quick. So, like, they say that in order to become rich, you have to sell your soul. Now, what does that mean, selling your soul for money?
So I think it comes in a lot being fake, cutting corners, doing people dirty, being greedy, not having moments of clarity like I've kind of had in the last 4 years, where it's like, hey, I need to take a step back from starting other businesses and focus on like starting a family, meeting the right person, making sure I'm there for that person. Like, it's those kind of decisions where it's like, okay, I could keep working 7 hours or 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and make X amount more money, but am I going to be really, truly more fulfilled? Like, is that going to feed my soul? Or is it better that maybe I make a little less money, but I'm doing something that's going to really, feed me as a person and make me a fulfilled person? And I think so many people just look at the shiny objects, and the shiny objects are never going to fulfill you. I was lucky enough to be an idiot when I was in my 20s. I bought 2 Ferraris before I was 30. Idiot. And you realize those things are not going to make you happy. And it was such a great life lesson for me, because it's like it piques your happiness for like a month and you're like, oh, this is awesome. And then you're right back to your baseline. And it does nothing for you ultimately. And so realizing that was great for me, because I don't chase shiny shit, right? Like that's not anything like all my friends are, oh, I'm going to save for this and this. And I'm like, bro, you're going to realize like that is not what life's about. And that is not going to truly fulfill you. And most people that are doing that are doing it for other people. They're doing it for likes. They're doing it for outside impressions. And once you realize that that shit is not what life's about, you can really focus on the things that are actually going to feed your soul. And that was an amazing life lesson for me at an early age.
Man, that was powerful, man. Dan, thank you for coming in today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm glad it worked out.
I'm glad
Very nice to meet you as well, man.
You too.
Yeah,
Very nice to meet you.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
That was dope.
Well, this is the Get Louder podcast, and we appreciate y'all
Where are you
tuning
guys?
in.
Where can you find you? YouTube, Spotify, where are you at?
Yeah, definitely YouTube. Okay. We're going to be seeding all these initially on YouTube and social media. Okay. And then once we got a nice library, we'll start releasing it officially on like the podcast platforms.
Love it.
I forgot to add, we're going to cut this up. Where can we find you, Dan?
Yeah. I mean, I'm that Bulldog guy. So you drive up the 5, my office is right there staring at you in the face, a big Bulldog on the side of the building. The Bulldog Lawyer on Instagram, Dan Fulkerson on Instagram, Facebook, Dan Fulkerson, Save a Bully's The Rescue, Bada Fulkerson's the law firm. My cell is always on me. If anyone has questions, mentorship, just life direction, you can always call me, 858-252-2222. I try to make myself as easy to find as possible.
Awesome. Yeah.
5222. You guys got action in this building.
I know. We gotta get a curtain. We gotta get a curtain during the show.
I love it.
I kind of like though. I honestly, I like when people walk. It gives me a sense of pride.
100%.
Because we came in, we're the only one to paint. Like
it looks good.
We're the only one to paint our walls,
yeah.
to set up the couches, the light, everything. And I feel proud that people get to walk.
I'm calling it right now. You guys are going to get business off this space.
Yeah,
people are going to go, "Hey, can you help me with marketing?"
For sure.
Guarantee you.
I love helping people.
Yeah, I guarantee it. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to go in this type of building where there's so many other businesses working, because the
1,000%.
relationships we'll be able to build, the friends and the potential business, you know?
Well, that's because another thing too, like for 4 years, I worked from home, right? You think, I want to work from home. I'll get so much done. And after 4 years, you just feel like soulless. Like, you're like, man, I haven't
you need human contact.
You need human contact to get inspired.
Yeah.
And since I've left from working from home, I'm re-inspired. I'm putting out better content. I'm just better to people. I get excited talking to people.
Bro, this is going to be a great setup for you guys. And watch, you're going to need another spot. You're gonna end up outgrowing it quicker than you think.
You know, I look at life and business I look at life like a video game.
Yeah.
So I never play. You ever play video? You ever play Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, but I'm terrible. Bro.
Exactly.
I'm not a video game.
So
person.
a couple of years ago, I was completely burned out, and I was like, you know what? All my friends play video games. I'm the only one who doesn't play video games. I'm like, I'll play Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
I played it for a week. I'm also upset. So I played it for a week. I beat it and I deleted it.
Yeah.
And I realized I played it for a week, deleted it. People will play video games for years. And I'm like, all this work I put into the video game, upgrading my car, upgrading my guns, going through, I'm like, you can do this in real life.
In real life.
Why would you waste your life
That's
playing
why
a
I can't
video
play
game?
video games, bro. That's why I can't, because I'm like, this is such a waste of time.
Yeah.
It's all for nothing.
Yeah.
But it's also now how I look at sports. You see so many people invest their whole lives into the fucking Padres. I'm like, for what?
I see them every week.
That's what I mean. It's crazy to me. I'm like, I'll watch it for entertainment, but I can't be one of those avid fans.
No.
Because I'm like, I could be spending this time like building my life.
Yeah.
Like it's so fucking crazy to me.
I'd rather wear your t-shirt and root for you and root for me and root for you and root for these guys than root for a team that doesn't care about me.
1,000%. People like they'll lose and they'll go in like depression.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does this have anything to do with your life?
Dude, I've seen people fight, literally fight Padre Dodger
Literally.
fans. Fuck you. It's like, yo, these guys
insane.
don't even know who you are.
It's insane. It's insane.
You know, it got me thinking because of how loyal these sports fans are. I'm like, I wonder if these people are, if they're loyal on a sports team. I wonder if they're like that loyal in real life. I wonder if there's a correlation there.
No.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. I think it's just like,
I gotta go pick up my kid.
bro, you're good. I gotta run too. I got a 2:30.
Okay.
Very nice to meet you, though.
But I'm scrambling for you guys.
Very nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Man,
Here, can we, before you leave, can we get a picture real fast?
Yeah, let's get a picture.